Hello everyone. Good morning. It's 9:45. I'm TK and this is Coach on the Rocks. Lovely to see you back on this wonderful day, and hopefully you're having a great time. So, what I wanted to talk about today is an interesting article I have read by a colleague, Andrea, and what he talked about is management spans. Hope you know what management span is. If you're an HR or a leader, you might have got a clue, which is it's all about how many direct reports a manager has. Right? Rule of thumb in many consultancies, many OD experts would be 6 to 12 as like a good balance for most managers. Now, what Andreas says in his article is interesting. He states that when an organization is less focused on innovation, more focused on like processes and so on, so things that are a bit more rigid, a bit more BAU, you can actually shorten the span because, hey, you can have more control. But when it comes to innovation and organizations that need to make sure that people innovate. So most of the modern organizations, I think the span can be wider to permit mistakes. It's not a full gist of his great article, but that's that. I don't think I completely agree. Although it's an interesting point to admit more empowerment through widening the management span. So essentially, it's like a liberating, enabling constraint. I'm not a huge fan of these because I think we're working with complex adaptive systems of people, and these kinds of games can be played with, automatic or non-thinking units. But nevertheless, it prompted me to think about something because I think I would point out a different reason why you might want a certain span and not something else. Mainly, it's how flat you want your organization to be. Okay, so many people believe that our organization is so flat, we don't have many managers, and so on and so forth. But when you think about it, it definitely widens the management span. If you don't have a lot of managers, one person that is a line manager has to help and serve multiple or a great many employees. Similarly, the opposite is true, right? If, for instance, myself, I like to focus on small management spans as a leader because, as you know, if you're a watcher of this show, if you're one of my wonderful viewers, you will no doubt know how much effort I pay into developing people and how important it is for me to make sure that the members of my team not only feel valued, but can grow and are able to do their best. And I think it's my job as a leader, as a manager, to help them as much as I can. In fact, it's my main job. So these two things are at odds. Right? When the organization is small, we're relatively small at Humble Associates. It's not a problem, but as we grow, I'm sure it will come. And I've seen it, and we've helped multiple clients that have had this problem. And I think it's an interesting decision you need to take in your organization. What's more important to you? Being flat or focusing on smaller spans that enable growth? Now, I will step out and step away from the fence or get off it and maybe take a position that I actually think it's more important to help employees grow, and the flatness itself is not as important. Because why is a complex organization with multiple layers suboptimal? Why is it that people complain on it? Well, it's not because layers of managers, if they are valuable and do their job, it's because the complexity of processes and the complexity of decision making. Now, I would much rather address this particular thing, so making sure that your processes, decision making, delegation are up to scratch. We've helped a great many organizations do that. Then flatness for the sake of flatness, just to put it in an ad for a job spec, as we're a flat organization, we're so amazing. There's a reason why it is amazing. And yes, you would say that, less managers, more Byzantine or less Byzantine structure would allow a more collegial, familiar culture. But again, you can build it even if you have more people serving other people as managers. I believe you should focus on the service and growth of people rather than constrict yourself through artificial flatness just for the sake of flatness. And by the way, many people actually want to be leaders and they will really welcome the opportunity of being managers. Can you go overboard with it? Absolutely you can. Can you let yourself run away with it? You can absolutely do so. And this is why, because it's so hard for many people to be line managers and leaders, they prefer to introduce additional layers so they don't have to do it as much, to have a smaller span, not because they want to focus so much on growing the people they have, but they want to focus on other activities that they find more important than line leadership. To me, actually, leadership is the most important responsibility of a leader and not necessarily their operational bit. Although, different organizations have different cultures, even though I have a strong opinion about the fact that a leader is there to help their people grow, and their success is the success of the people that are growing, right? Delegation and empowerment is just so important, and you can do so much if you stop doing things yourself. But that's another episode of my Coach on the Rocks. Anyway, hopefully I've made my point clear. For me, smaller spans, which obviously will not let you have a flat organization, but think about why you want your organization flat and address these needs instead of constraints that you're putting in, maybe not really understanding why you're doing that. With that, I'm hoping that you will continue to have a wonderful week. Wherever you are, I'd love if you could leave me a comment. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think, it's the opposite. Maybe you have experiences different to mine. I'd love to learn. Let me know in the comment, or maybe drop me a message, as many of you do. With that, have a great week. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.